So hello, my name is LE2-WEB-SYSTEMS-TECHNOLOGIES-2-PUTAN, and today I'll be talking about my LE2 for the Web Systems and Technologies 2 Laboratory, LE2. And this is a resubmission because we needed to also input or also send the video submission. So now we're doing this video demo of our HTML form and the code as well. So for this, we need to demonstrate the functions and objects through extending the flames form that we did on LE1, as well as doing the zodiac now, which is going to be the new feature that we will implement. So for this, we need to go to our terminal, and we're gonna go LE2, right, and then cd LE2, and then we're gonna spin up the PHP local host, but now instead of LE1 as we demonstrated earlier, we're gonna demonstrate LE2. All right, so the development server at port 7000, and we can see here the HTML form that we did. So for let's say let's say for example my name, right, Luis, and my last name, let's say just a random date, I guess, like 20 January 2020, like 2025 or something like that. February, let's say Rodrigo Duterte, and the birth date, just a random birth date, I guess. The year is really irrelevant because we're just looking at the months, right? So we're gonna compute the results. And we can see here the flame status, right, is gonna be lovers. And the common letters are gonna be U, I, and T, and the similarity score is just going to be 8. Right, so we can see here that we have Luis, Putan, Rodrigo, and Duterte, and that my sign is gonna be Pisces and Leo, and then compatibility is a favorable match. Now we need to see this, validate this. So we can see here, what was it, Pisces in Leo. So Pisces, and then going to Leo, we can see here that it's a like, and in the legend, it's a favorable match, right? So let's say, let's do another one. Let's say, for example, another birth date, February, or let's say July, right? Let's see the results again. My sign now is going to be Cancer and Leo, right? Cancer, and then Leo, still going to be a favorable match. So let's say for Aries, I need the other one to be January, right? If I'm not mistaken, 17 something, and we can see or Capricorn. So we can see here Cancer and Capricorn, and let me validate that. So Cancer, and then Capricorn in here, right? So it's a heart, so that means it's a great match. So as seen here. So we can see here that really it works, right? We're just extending our flames thing, and then appending the zodiac compatibility, and the same thing we're using the same the statements, and we're also appending this congratulations, you and your match have a great match, right? Depending on the depending on the result of the zodiac. So now we've demonstrated that this works, right? The same thing essentially works. And now let's go on to the code. So in here, for our LE2, same thing. We're just really, but now, the different thing from last time was that we are incorporating classes and objects now, right? So we have the class zodiac, same thing. The zodiac sign, the symbol, the start date and end date, all according to the instructions. And then we're just going to validate the time or the birthday basically, and then we're going to go for we're going to see if the zodiac.txt, which is why we needed this, right? Which is just really detailing, the ranges of each zodiac sign, and then we're just gonna open the file. And then we're gonna explode this. This means that we're just gonna look at line by line as an array, and then we're gonna delimit it using the semicolon as a separator, and then we're gonna use the second one, the third element as a start date, end date, and we're just gonna append like birth date and stuff from the date, since that is a constructor from the date, or basically the birth date, right? And then we're just gonna see, this is just the wraparound in here, because like we don't need the year. We're not looking at the year, we're looking at the months, right? So there's a wraparound in here in which if the like for example, January and December should be different, right? So we're just really doing wrapping in here. And then in here, we're just defining the compute zodiac compatibility function. So the design in here was that, I thought like, okay, I don't really need to essentially do like this entire thing and persisting this array for in memory, right? I just need to create this at runtime, since this is a very like inexpensive operation. And the rationale, if I'm not mistaken, from back then that I had, was that it would be expensive to essentially like do this with for every object, because if I do this for every object, or maintain this zodiac compatibility array for every object that we have, or for every zodiac sign that we have, then it would be expensive memory-wise. Though there is a way to do this with using it as a static. So basically, the zodiac sign, the zodiac class would have just a static variable for this. But since we haven't discussed that yet in classes, I didn't want to do that. So I just opted for this method of creating the zodiac compatibility array for this 2D array, right? This multidimensional array every time that this computes zodiac compatibility works. So basically, after we compute the zodiac, this array, this associative array, will get dropped. So this is just the zodiac compatibility array that we had. So Aries with Aries, and then we're mapping it to GM, to FM or NF, and then that is also an array in which we're mapping the codes to their strings, right? And this is directly related to this array in here, right? We have this entire thing, so we just really transformed it into an associative multi-dimensional array. Okay. So we're going to be doing the compatibility type. Computing for the compatibility type is very easy, because we're just going to index into the your sign, and then we're going to index into the crush sign, right? So that would be very easy. And then we also do have the person, right? Same thing, first name, last name, birthday, and the zodiac, right? The zodiac object that we have. And then for the constructor, we have first name, last name, and the birth date, in which we're getting from the HTML forms. And at construction, we're going to be creating a new zodiac object and instantiating it and passing it over the birthday argument. And we also have just one function, the get full name, and that's pretty much it. And the data structures, we're just extending it from our flames back then. We had the letters, from the letters to the full kind of like flames, right? Same thing in here. The compute flames is all the same thing, right? And then here we're just going to compute the zodiac. We're going to from my zodiac to the crush zodiac, right? We're just going to instantiate the access the zodiac sign from the uZodiac object, right? And then we're going to compute the zodiac compatibility, and then we're going to return an array that that is going to populate the populate the results for the zodiac compatibility that will be used for rendering in the front end, right? And then we're just going to get the zodiac statement, which is just going to be, okay, if it's a great match, you and your crush have a great match, same thing, just giving a human readable statement, I guess. And then the same thing as before, we're just instantiating these associative arrays in which we'll be using to render in the front end. So if it's a post method in the forms and it's a submit, then we're just going to get everything, right? And then we're going to instantiating the persons in here, me and my crush. And then if there are any errors, then we're just gonna propagate it to the front end. And if there are no errors, then we're just gonna compute the flames, and passing the U and crush person, and then from the U person, since at instantiation of the U of the person object, we already get the Zodiac object in that person. So we're just gonna access the Zodiac Zodiac object, and then compute the Zodiac for both for both people. So this is just the same thing from there, right? We're still using the Dracula theme, and then we're just appending the Zodiac, right, which is just all HTML and inline CSS. So that's pretty much it, and we have demonstrated my LE2 Web Systems and Technologies Laboratory 2. So thank you for watching.